Careless moment to turn this into this. Don't let forest fires be your fault. Make sure your fire is dead out.
Remember,
for decades now, Smokey the Bear has stood as a paragon of representation for protection against human-caused forest fires and how to practice self-fire precautions through controlled campfires, burning of debris, and safe equipment use. Most believe that for many years this was enough to prevent human-caused forest fires. However, in recent years, there has been an increase in occurrences of wildfires. Communities and forests are destroyed. Along with Smokey the Bear, several other environmental platforms state that roughly between 85% and 95% of wildfires are caused by humans. But what has led to this rise in frequency of wildfires? In 2016, an article published by PNAS studied the impact of anthropogenic climate change across U.S. forests. They found an increase in forest fire activity across the western United States in recent decades that has contributed to widespread forest mortality, carbon emissions, periods of degraded air quality, and substantial fire suppression expenditures. There need to be more actions taken than just our local Smokey the Bear telling us to be safe, and what we really need to worry about. There is obviously more leading to this rise in occurrence than uncontrolled campfires or burning of debris that humans are responsible for. Wildfires are unmanageable and extremely dangerous, igniting everything in its path. They burn entire habitats to the ground, threatening non-human animals and entire human communities. Most recently, we have seen these forest fires threaten California, Australia, and the Amazon rainforest.
Australia, already in a state of emergency, is getting more dire tonight. The raging wildfires have reached the outskirts of Sydney. 100,000 homes in Sydney, Australia's largest city, are under threat tonight. Conditions have taken a catastrophic turn and are expected to cause fires in the city's suburbs to flare. There has been no rain, and the hot winds are intense. The fires are the worst in Australia since 2009, when 173.
Through these events, thousands of people are filled with fear of future wildfire risks and wonder what has caused this spike. In 2017, PNAS released another article studying human-started wildfires, where they concluded human-caused fires were dominant, more than 80% of ignitions in over 5.1 million kilometric squares, the vast majority of the United States, whereas lightning-started fires were dominant in only 0.7 million kilometric squares, primarily in sparsely populated areas in the mountainous western United States. Especially when the European Journal of Forest Research notes that human factor hardly ever appears in the definition of operational fire risk systems due to the difficulty of characterizing it. This could be due to our overall effects on the planet rather than just a few fire-related activities. Evidence seems to suggest that a major leading cause is global warming and climate change.
Now, as we reported, California is struggling with two enormous fires simultaneously. They're being driven by high winds, high temperatures, and a pervasive drought. But as William Brangham reports, you can find these extreme conditions throughout the American West and in much of northern and western Europe, causing many to point the finger squarely at climate change.
Climate change is a factor in making the fire season there start earlier and last longer. And as Eric Sorensen reports, people are demanding political action.
Fire season has come early and hot to Australia. For the first time since fire ratings were introduced, conditions
in 2001, an article from Forest Ecology and Management observed a total of 6,329 wildfires occurring on the Virgin Islands over a 43-year study period. And 2,747 of the grid cells contain at least one fire. The probability of a grid cell burning was positively correlated with summer temperature and negatively correlated with precipitation and distances to municipalities, campgrounds, dirt roads, railroads, and paved roads. In other words, high temperatures increase the chances of wildfires occurring, in contrast to the previous beliefs that wildfires are an effect of camping or road systems. Camping and road systems create barriers preventing the spread of fire. And if this is the case, why does Smokey the Bear focus so much on prevention of fires through campgrounds instead of notifying the public about global warming and climate change? Looking even deeper, how exactly does an increase in temperatures contribute to wildfires, and why do certain areas experience wildfires more than others? According to an article about climate change in California, the increase in wildfire areas are associated with higher gas emissions, with increases of emissions statewide ranging from 36% to 74% by 2085, and increases exceeding 100% in much of the forested areas of Northern California by 2085. Looking at the forests in California only speaks for a percentage of our forest lands. However, it shows the extreme differences in climate's effect on fires. These greenhouse emission studies go as far back as 1991 in Canada, where a forest research journal looked at CO2 emissions across Canadian forests, finding a 46% increase in seasonal severity rating, with a possible similar increase in area burned in CO2 levels. This severe increase in greenhouse gases and multiple extreme wildfires burning down mile-long forests has contributed to the rise in wildfires as a phenomenon. With more and more people searching for a way to prevent these occurrences, a later study by Forest Ecology and Management in 2010 understands the rise in temperatures and climate where fires are more likely to ignite can help in preventative steps needed to slow down this phenomenon. The increased fire potential is mainly caused by warming in the U.S., South America, and Australia, and by the combination of warming and drying in other regions. Sensitivity analysis show that future fire potential depends on many factors such as climate model and emission scenario used for climate change projection. The results suggest dramatic increases in wildfire potential that will require increased future resources and management efforts for disaster prevention and recovery. However, due to the dry, warm temperatures of areas affected by forest fires, prevention and recovery can bring its own difficulties. With severe droughts or lack of ground moisture, wildfires can burn for weeks on end or prevent new vegetation from having the resources to grow. A study by Earth surface processes and landforms in 2017 looks at the different effects of storms during drought on post-wildfire recovery of channel sediment dynamics and habitat. They find that in areas experiencing drought, sediment is not able to deposit itself properly to provide for new growth. It is too dry and unable to sift itself without the help of wind or rain from storms. Another factor that plays into the prevention and recovery of wildfires is deforestation, providing acres of land with dry, brittle wood, a perfect environment for fires to occur. In 2008, the Biological Conservation looks at the forest fragmentation and logging in the Amazon to better understand these environments. They conclude that a large extent and rapid expansion is a key factor in making soft forest edges perfect environments for wildfires. Looking at extreme causes and effects of wildfires, one begins to wonder how this could contribute to green criminology. If global warming and deforestation are key topics covered in the introductions to such a study, why would wildfires not be considered? In 2007, White and Heckenberg's book about green criminology breaks down green environmental crimes, categorizing deforestation at the top. If humans cause 85 to 95% of wildfires, and these forest fires have relations to other phenomena, they should be reviewed as green environmental crimes. Conclusively, there has been much effort and resources utilized towards the prevention of wildfires, such as Smokey the Bear. These efforts primarily focus on human-caused fires through campfires, burning of debris, and equipment use. However, with frequencies of wildfire increasing, more underlying causes are surfacing. Therefore, changes in efforts should be made through a more modern approach towards wildfires and global warming. To understand the rise in occurrences of wildfires, one must analyze the rise in temperatures and temporal patterns of areas that experience more occurrences, and also consider how deforestation contributes to the environment of forest fires. In regards to criminology, wildfires should be re-evaluated to be classified under green environmental crimes due to its extreme connection between humans and damaging dynamics.